Hi everybody, it's David from Amos Pewter here with more adventures at the Jeweler's Bench. And you can see that today I am at the Jeweler's Bench in our studio here in Mahone Bay and ready to do our next episode on the various media we use to carve our designs into here at Amos Pewter here. And today, you may remember, we're doing green wax. And you may also remember that I gave you folks some homework, which was to come up with a design for something about the size of, say, a pendant or a key ring for me to carve. And of all the responses that we got from everyone out there, I like this one the best, I have to say. I don't know if there's a way to make this into a pewter design, but what I think we really need right now is a hug. At this time of social distancing, one thing we could really use and can't get is hugs. If you could figure out a way for me to send a hug to my friends and family, I would be very grateful. And that is from Marilyn Smith from somewhere out in Facebook land. Well, Marilyn, that is a challenge, but never let it be said, I don't appreciate a challenge. So I put my mind to it. And what I came up with for a design that would represent a hug and the feeling of a hug is this. That just gives you an idea of love and the embrace. It just looks like a hug. So we're going to take this design and we're going to turn it into pewter. So the first step in this process was for me to scan that drawing that I did and play around with the size of it a little bit till I got it to the size that I really liked, and I came up with this, printed off a copy. And now the challenge is to get this design into the wax. So let me just show you how that's done. So there's the drawing, there's my wax. I'll start off by just trimming that drawing down a little bit. So it fits onto the wax a little bit better, like that. And then the next thing I do is I take a glue stick, put a bit of glue on the back of that drawing, and I think you can guess what's going to happen next. I'm going to stick that on that wax. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut this design out of the wax, but just in case this paper slips, moves around, peels off accidentally, what I want to do is put that design straight through the paper and into the wax. And I'm going to do that using a very sharp point. And I'm going to go around the outside of the design with this point, and I'm going to put little holes through the paper into the wax, so that if this paper comes off, what I have is a sort of a connect the dots thing underneath there. And I can still cut out the design and still see what I intended to carve. So I've got my design on the wax. Now the next step is to, of course, cut it out. And to cut it out, I use a very special tool that jewelers have. It's a saw that's called, wait for it, a jeweler's saw. And the key feature about the jeweler's saw is it's very fine blade, very thin. And this is going to enable me to make very sharp turns, very delicate, detailed cuts in the wax. Now, you might have been looking at the jeweler's bench before wondering, what the heck is that doodad? Well, I'm about to show you. This is called a bench pin. And basically what it does is it supports the piece you're working on in a very secure way, but still giving you access to the edges so that you can saw or file. It keeps things really stable and secure, and I don't know how we would do this job without it. So we put the blade up against the wax, keeping it straight up and down, and look at that. It makes a very fine line. And we're off and running. All right, so there it is, all cut out. So the next time I'm going to clean up these edges a little bit, peel that paper off and start really carving the design into the wax. Really get some nice three-dimensionality to it. So I hope you'll join us for that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.